good evening, good evening, and welcome back to my channel, Positivity in Motion. I am Victoria, and on my channel, I share tips with you to help kickstart you into having a fantastic week. Being positive and optimistic can always help soften some of the blows that we might run into throughout the week. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where have you been? It's been centuries since you've been on. It has been a very long time. And I do apologize for that. But for some reason, last week I got pricked, and my spirit said, remember, your goal was simply to do the best that you could every week. And if you could reach just one person and make a change and help them make a change in their life, maybe something that you experienced, you could help them go through a little smoother, then you would have been successful on your channel. And that is exactly what I've done. And I want to continue to do that. So, doesn't matter social media, how it blooms and blossoms. I just want to share the little knowledge that I have with those who are willing to tune in and listen. So, thank you for popping in. And I do ask you to share if you hear something that pricks you. Now, we are in 2026. Can you imagine that? And it rolled around rather quickly. I know that many of us make goals and decide on things that we want to do. Personally, I don't do resolutions anymore. I stopped that many, many years ago. But I do write down goals and things that I would like to do. And that's what I do. I don't beat myself up though if I'm not successful at doing those things. I just try to do better each day. And I hope that you will do that as well. Because it is written that we need to write the plan, make it simple, and then those who are reviewing it can understand it as well as yourself. So you do need to have a simple plan on some things that you want to do and seek help if you need help in getting some of those activities completed. Now, tonight, I want to say Happy New Year. If I haven't already said it, I'm saying it again because it's exciting. 2026, imagine that. But tonight, we're going to talk about the importance of this year, understanding the need to allow people to do what they would like to do. And that's something that I picked up this year myself off someone else's page. They were sharing, I think it was on TikTok. Could have been YouTube or Facebook, I don't know. But this particular person was saying that we need to allow people to do what they'd rather do, right? To do what they'd rather do. And if you know someone or accept someone for who they are, it's important that we learn to take a step back and allow people to make their own decisions and do what they would rather do. Another way of putting that, which might have a little punch to it, to do what's important to them, which may or may not include you. And it's so important that we understand that because someone makes a different choice, or even if we make a different choice, it doesn't mean that affects our value. We are who we are, and no one can take or diminish that value unless we somewhere internally feel that within ourselves, which is why we need to remain positive and keep our energy up. But we need to allow people to do what they would rather do. Okay? He went on to say that in healthy relationships that we don't need to manipulate people for what we want. We in healthy relationships, we don't have to seek control, and we don't have to just be about self. It's about giving and receiving. It's a give and a take. You do need to be mindful. He didn't really get into this. If you're doing all the giving all the time, you might want to put a check on that and look into that. Because when people are doing what they'd rather do, and like I said, whether it includes you or not, if you're always excluded, if you're always an option, then you need to give some credence to whether or not that is a valuable, cohesive relationship, whatever it may be. Maybe a friend, maybe a partner, a co-worker. It could be anyone in your life if you want to continue to feed into that, because relationships are give and take. And it's also important to remember that doesn't make them a bad person because they make a different choice. Doesn't make them a bad person because they make a different choice. They're still human, they're still people. They just may not be your people. And why do I say that? Because they're not prioritizing you. And you're consistently having to be placed in the waiting game, waiting for a call, waiting for a text, waiting for whatever you're waiting for. You're just waiting. And in that, you have to again look internal and think, is that something that I would want to continue? In 2026, I'm saying that's something that each of us need to think about. And we make a choice. We make decisions every day. And a lot of times we try to make the best decision in a given moment, and we do. And sometimes it's not always the best decision. But we do need to focus on ourselves and do what's important to us as well. Do not in 2026 leave yourself out in the cold. Take time and do things that are important to you, just the same as you do things that are important to other people, because you matter. You are important. And you also have things that you would rather do. But for many of us, we will push ourselves to the side and give credence to someone else. And that's okay for us to do if we feel good inside. But if we're doing it out of obligation, or we're doing it because of expectations and things that we are expecting from someone, we might want to check our motive behind doing that. So, what is the message for tonight? The message for tonight is very simple. We have to allow people to be and do what they want to do. That person that I listened to coined it as to do what they'd rather do, which is true. If I schedule time for you and you cancel, you chose something else that you'd rather do. If I'm always calling and texting and reaching out without any responses, and you don't ever reach out or text to me, then that's questionable. And that's all I'm saying is it's with those things that we have to go internal to see what it is that we need to do. And don't forget to communicate also. Communicate to the person how you feel. You know, I feel as if, and share what the reasons are for the different things that you may be feeling. And if that person is supportive and they care about you, they will listen and they will make changes if changes need to be made. And if they don't, after you've made them aware of how you are affected by the things that are occurring, then that's a message for you. I won't say red flag, yellow flag, or green. I would just say it is something that you need to check into. And in 2026, that's what I'm going to try to do. Check in some things. See how I fit. Do some things that matter to me, which I really started that a long time ago, but I'm going to tighten up on it a little more. So I just wanted to get on tonight and say hi and to let you know that I'm back and to say I hope that you have a healthy, prosperous, wonderful new year. And remember, the decisions that you make are up to you. You may be influenced by those around you or by certain inherent emotions that we have within, but the decision is up to you. So I look forward to coming back to you next week. Same time, same back channel, Victoria Wilson, 1978. And remember, if you have any subjects that you would like for me to cover, put them in the comments because I'm not afraid to research and to tackle anything. And I want to make sure that I'm meeting your needs. So, like I always like to end, I hope that you wake up every day next week. You look in the mirror and you know that you matter. There is not another you, and there will never be. So, appreciate who you are, love yourself, surround yourself with positivity, and watch how the windows and the doors open for you. Happy New Year, and I will see you next week.